Hey Ramblers! Vinny, I love that you took the married couple approach and had Jenny in your video this time. I'm also married. I asked Phil his answers to this question as well, but he's being very indecisive. Phil's not real opinionated when it comes to travel. He's more the, I don't know, where do you want to go sort. Which has worked out well for us, for our vacations. But, yeah, this is going to be a less cohesive, unified video than yours. The countries I picked are largely inspired by my love of history. I love to visit memorials and museums and see how the place that I'm visiting commemorates their history and their past. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's so many reasons why I would want to visit a certain place, like their culture, or the music, or the climate, or their food. Food was a good one, by the way. But knowing the history of the place that I'm visiting and finding that history really riveting and exciting is still really important to me. With that in mind, I picked Germany, Poland, and the United States. Now, Germany and Poland kind of go hand in hand for me because I am a huge World War II history nerd. I love learning about that time period. It would not be a particularly uplifting or cheerful trip, but I would start in Germany and I would visit all of the memorials and monuments and museums they have dedicated to World War II and to the Holocaust. I'd visit places where significant people lived or important documents were signed. Also, I'd eat a lot of schnitzel. And then I would head over to Poland, where I would visit the death camps. I can't even begin to imagine how moving it would be to see the places where the death camps used to be. World War II, and especially the Holocaust, are extremely moving events for me. It's something that I'm really passionate about, and I want to know everything there is to know about the period. I don't know, I want to visit at least one of the death camps at some point in my life, so that's on the list. And see, the other area of history that I'm really interested in, aside from Canadian history, obviously, I'm a Canadian, I specialized in Canadian history, I wrote my thesis on Canadian stuff. The other area of history that I find really interesting is the history of the American Civil Rights Movement. I would visit Alabama and Georgia and Washington, D.C. and to immerse myself in that history as much as I could and visit every museum possible. Oh my gosh, I love the Smithsonian. I think I've only seen like a fifth of it and I'm so in love with it. I must go back. The American Civil Rights Movement is another really emotional piece of history, but it's also far more hopeful. Also, the US has Disney World, so that's hard to pass up. I hope that was at least somewhat coherent, but those are my answers. Germany, Poland, and the United States. Ramblers, have a good weekend. I'll see you later.